two brand new iPhones released in the same year at the same event, but how could they be any more different? Let's start things off and just say this is all from my perspective, and that these phones are both top of the line. Just to note here that we have the iPhone 5S on the left and the iPhone 5C on the right. Here we have two high-quality built phones in their own regards, one made of aluminum and one made of plastic. It all depends on the user. In terms of a premium feel and design, the iPhone 5S takes the cake. The iPhone 5C is also a very high-quality, premium-feeling phone. In terms of a solid feel in the hand, however, I love the 5C, and how they made it just a little thicker and heavier. Speaking of thickness, these phones are very thin. As you can see, the 5S is just a hair thinner than the 5C, and also a hair lighter, but you wouldn't really notice that. In terms of ports and buttons, they're in the same spots, but maybe a little different. On the bottom here, we have a speaker, a lightning port, and a 3.5mm headphone jack. As we turn to the side, you can see we have nothing but a SIM tray, and on the top, we just have a sleep-wake button, and on the other side, we have volume up and down, and a ringer toggle switch. On the back here, we have cameras on both. In the 5S, here we have an 8-megapixel shooter with Apple's all-new True-Tone flash. And on the 5C, we just have an 8-megapixel shooter with a regular flash. In terms of camera performance, I'd give the 5S an edge with its low-light performance. The 5S images tend to be a little more accurate when it came to sharpness, but the 5C was not that far behind. The screen on these is exactly the same. It's 1136 by 640 with a PPI of 326. The 5S, however, was a little more accurate when it came to color saturation, but both have an amazing 4-inch screen when most times you can't even tell the difference. In terms of performance, here's where it becomes a little tricky. The 5S comes with Apple's A7 dual-core chip clocked at 1.3 GHz and 1 GB of RAM. The 5C has Apple's dual-core A6 chip clocked around 1.3 GHz with 1 GB of RAM. But the iPhone 5S is 64-bit compatible, which is a very big advantage. Only not many apps out there can utilize its full potential yet. The 5S has not reached its limits yet, neither has the 5C, but tasks just seem to get done faster and smoother on the 5S. For an example, let's load ESPN on both phones. The 5S loaded a hair faster, but the 5C wasn't even far behind. You may not even notice a difference. In terms of benchmarks, I ran the Antutu benchmark. The 5S outperformed the 5C, but it doesn't always translate to real-world performance, like it should. We could say that the 5S is more future-proof. The fingerprint sensor for now is another way to unlock your phone. The passcode and password were fine for me, but I'm going to leave this out of the comparison because the 5C doesn't have a fingerprint sensor. You could check out my other video about the Touch ID on my channel for more information though. In terms of battery, both phones were a hit and went through a whole day without the phones needing more than one charge. As always, thanks for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. Next week, I'll have the 5S running benchmarks along with the 5C.